So begins the end for Darkseid.
I've never seen a being this strong. Maybe one. He's back.
I spent a lot of time trying to divide us. I made a promise to him on his grave. I need to bring us together. There are enemies coming from far away.
They serve an old power.
This world is divided. No protectors here. No lanterns. No Kryptonian. It will fall in his name. I have turned worlds to dust. All of existence shall be mine.
I have a second chance. I am not gonna waste it.
They said the age of heroes would never come again.
Fighting the devil and his army. You know, I don't care how many demons he's fought and how many hells. He's never fought us united.
It's time to stand. Fight. The time is now.
Welcome, people. That was good. That was a pretty good trailer, pretty decent trailer. Thank you for tuning in to Earth 2 Comic Cast. This is gonna be my review. Slight reaction to Zack Snyder's Justice League. Today is Thursday. It's here. The bell has been rung. Thank you again for watching. This is gonna be a very interesting one because this is a review for a movie we've already reviewed before on this channel, technically, because we reviewed the actual Justice League, the theatrical cut, versus this is the director's cut himself. This is Zack Snyder's Justice League, as the title says. Done with the movie, and the first thing I can say is long. That's my first impression of it. That's my first reaction to it. It's just long. It's a lot of movie, but it's in 6 parts. It's in 6 chapters, so you can watch it as 6 chapters. Or you could just watch all 4 hours at the same time, even including the epilogue. I think what works for you is what works for you, how you decide to do this. But for me, I sat through all of it. The first half hour, I think I sat through, and then I fell asleep, and then I came back and I watched it again. So you can decide how you want to watch it. I watched it the way I watched it because I thought it'd be better to just watch it as a whole. And to sit and digest it that way. I think it'd be a lot easier to sit and digest as the chapters suggest if you watch it that way. So that is the first thing that I wanted to say. That's the first thing that I wanted to say about this movie. It's long. It's a lot of movie, and if you're not ready for it, it's gonna hit you. So yeah, just take your time, watch the movie. Roy, I kind of started watching it last night, and then I fell asleep because it was long, and I think I'm gonna go into that part of it. And I was like, yeah, I gave up on it because it was too long for me to sit through, and I think the part that I decided to stop watching was just because it was boring, and that's my first negative on the movie. So before I go into this, I'm going to talk about the discourse around this movie, right? I think it's important. It's important to note that the discourse around Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be for 3. This movie is out there, right? and it's going to be divided into 3 parts. The Snyder Cut fanatics, the Snyder Cut fans, the comic book movie fans, and then the Marvel fans, the people that are divided like Marvel, DC, that don't really care, too much for the Marvel movies. Now, if you're a comic book movie fan, I feel like my review is going to be for you. I don't necessarily think my review will be for the Snyder Cut fans because they're not going to like a lot of what I'm going to be saying. I also don't think if you're a Marvel fan, if you're deeply entrenched in the Marvel universe, you're not going to care about the DC universe and what the movies are, what they're doing on their side of their movie. So let's just go ahead and X those 2 people out right now. And let me talk to the people who just like cape movies. If you're a cape shit fan, this is something you could watch, be like, oh, you know what? I have 4 hours to kill. I'm going to watch this movie. So yeah, let's talk to those people real quick. As I said, my initial thoughts were long. Like, damn, when I was done, it just took a lot for me to sit down and finish this movie. And I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I don't know when, if I will be watching this again, and I don't know when. Like, it's just so much movie. Maybe I'll actually, on the second viewing, I'll see it in chapters. That's how I'll do it on the second viewing. It's probably I'll do it that way. That way I don't have to sit through another 4-hour fest. Now that we've gotten all of that out the way, let's actually talk about the movie. Justice League, or Zack Snyder's Justice League, as it's titled, is a love letter to the Snyder Cut fans. It is a love letter to the people who wanted Zack Snyder's vision out the gate after seeing Justice League in 2017. This is in essence, the exact same movie we saw with a lot of the same beats and a lot of extended, drawn-out scenes that the fans had theorized or Zack Snyder had posted pictures of, and this of the assembly cut of the movie. Because again, I'll say this, and I'm probably gonna lose everybody right here. I am one of the few people that sat down and watched the theatrical cut and was like, you know what? I'm not mad at this. I like this movie. There's more movie to be seen from this, but I like this movie. And the thing is, once you saw that theatrical cut, it kind of opened up where the DC universe wanted to go, or the new direction of how they wanted to do their movies. The other negative of why this movie is here, again, this is where the Snyder Cut fans are going to hate what I'm going to say, is it cuts DC's universe, whatever they're building, off a little bit. Because if you saw Aquaman, there's a contradiction in this movie that, again, this movie doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, because according to Warner Brothers right now, it's not going to matter, right? It's just it's its own thing, right? It doesn't matter. But if you're watching these movies in continuity, if you watch Aquaman, when Mira says to Arthur in Zack Snyder's Justice League, she says, "Hey, your mother helped me out a lot because my parents died when I was young." That's false, because her dad is alive in Aquaman, right? Which happens to happen after Justice League 2017, and after this movie, Wonder Woman, who we've seen her sequel, this movie hurts that too. So it again, if you don't care about continuity, again, you're just a cape movie fan, you don't care about continuity, you don't care about what I just said. Fine, keep it moving. The next thing, the other thing again about this movie, besides the length, I feel like I'm gonna keep talking about the length, is if you came in looking for something drastically new, you're not really gonna get that. There's the epilogue at the end of this movie is the only new-ish thing that happens to happen, where we get the Joker, where we get the Stroke, where we get like the cyborg with his guns, and you see Flash in that metal suit that you see in BVS. You don't, yeah, that's pretty much the newest thing of the movie. And I guess the other new thing is Darkseid being in this universe, because he wasn't in the other movie. Everything that happened in Justice League in 2017 was for Darkseid, right? He was this shadow figure. He wasn't an entity. You didn't know he was here. This movie puts him here, And to me, this movie kind of makes him not as much of a badass as he was or as he's supposed to be. You're gonna hate me for saying that, but this movie doesn't make Darkseid a badass. Steppenwolf is the badass in this movie. Granted, he dies at the end of it. Spoiler. He's the badass of this movie. He is greatly improved. His motivations are still the same. He wants to do something for Darkseid so he can get back in Darkseid's favor. His motivations are the same. Again, this movie is the same movie across the board. You don't get the everybody the everybody knows opening at the beginning of this movie. You don't get the Batman opening that I thought was the best opening. I feel like is the best opening that this movie could have had. You don't get Batman being smart enough to say, "Hey, if I find this sound or this frequency, I can attract what's the name of those bee people?" Oh, crap, I just did that on live. Yeah, you don't get that. You get all those things that I think Josh added to this movie to kind of like keep it moving, just kind of like get cut off, and then you just get the extended version of the things that should have happened in this movie. So if you watch 2017 and you say, "Oh, this is disjointed here, this feels disjointed here," you watch this movie, yes, it's linear, it works because everything is together, but you're gonna be sitting there for a while things build up. What I liked Justice League in 2017 is everything was just moving. Everything kind of went straight to the point. It was under 4 hours. We watched it. I watched it multiple times. I enjoyed it. Again, it's just one of those things that, again, if you are here for Snyder Cut, then you're here for it. I don't hate it. And that's the one thing I'm going to say right now. I don't hate this movie. I don't necessarily dislike it, but I don't love it. And I don't necessarily like it. Does that make sense? I don't dislike the movie. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I feel like, this is supposed to be an event movie, and the way this movie is scaled, first of all, is scaled in the event type of like how do I say, like a Infinity War Endgame. It's scaled big. It's huge. It's a graphic novel type huge movie, right? But it doesn't feel like that, mainly because we've seen the movie already. Again, if we were getting entirely new scenes, if we were getting like 100% new scenes, then yes. A lot of this movie we've seen, and so nothing is like, oh, it's surprising, or nothing is like groundbreaking, nothing is earth-shattering. You've seen this movie. You know how it ends. It ends the same way it ended in 2017, with the slight variation of Darkseid dying, with Barry actually using his powers the way he was supposed to use it. That's what you get in Zack Snyder's Justice League. If you wanted the characters fleshed out a lot more, you get that here. If you wanted to see a bigger fight with Steppenwolf, you get that here. If you wanted to see the black suit, and that's the thing, that's one more thing I do not like about this movie, is the black suit is just that. It just happens. It's not, there's no significance to it. You don't understand why he's using it. If you read the comics, if you've read the comics, you know why Superman wears the black suit. You know when he comes back, he's not Superman that could destroy Steppenwolf. But in this movie, he is. And so we understand why he needs the black suit at the time he needed it. And I think it felt more earned when he wore the black suit in the comics. It just felt a lot deeper when he wore the black suit in the comics versus when he's wearing it now. Again, it's just a suit to appease the fans. That's again a lot of this movie is done to appease the fans, and I don't hate it for that. I don't hate it at all. I mean, if you're a fan of Snyder, if you're a fan of the Snyder Cut, this is your movie. You won. Period. Like, this is the movie for you, and you're going to love every minute of it. If you're a fan of the slow-mo, if you're a fan of the just killing to kill, if you're a fan of this action just to be action, then this is your movie. Other than that, this movie did nothing for me particularly. It just happened. It's an event that just evented. It's just a thing. don't love it, don't hate it, just feel okay by it. It's super. I'm whelmed, very whelmed by the movie. I know you're gonna hate me for saying that, but there's nothing great about Zack Snyder's Justice League. The score, just heavy metal. Again, if you watch any Zack Snyder movie, and it's just a Zack Snyder movie through and through. There's a lot of heavy metal guitar riffs, and no score was like, oh my god, I feel this part of the movie. I feel the action in this movie. Even for Wonder Woman, who again, everyone loved her entrance in BVS because the score and everything felt right. When she has that bank scene in this movie, that everyone is like, okay, well, we're gonna get the full bank scene. Her score feels flat in this. Her theme feels flat in this movie, and it sucks because she's been in three movies already, and we've seen her to a kind of a full potential now. Granted, with Wonder Woman 84, however you feel about that movie, she's reached her full potential. Yes, this movie doesn't give her that because, you would think that, okay, well, we saw Wonder. It's just again, this is why I said this movie hurts this universe that it came out. But if DC is saying, if Warner Brothers and DC are saying this is the end of it, and this is the end of it, and nobody cares, nobody should care, we're all good. Ultimately, Zack Snyder's Justice League is a movie that works for his fans, a movie that could work for Cape fans if you don't care. If you care about story, if you care about dialogue, if you care about things happening and making sense that they happen, then it probably won't necessarily work for you. If you're just here to be entertained, this works to a certain point. Because I will say, the reason I say to a certain point is because an hour and 37 minutes into this movie, I was like, this is fucking shit. Excuse me? This is boring. I'm out. I need to go do something else. Fell asleep, woke up. Let's try this again. And you can ask me what happened a minute and 37 seconds into this, 37 minutes into this movie. I can't tell you anything because that is just a stretch of movie. It's just things happening. You get the Amazonian battle in that part of the movie, but then a lot of things happen in this movie that necessarily don't add up because a lot of things are happening to set up things for some, for sequels and other things to like multiple movies that we're not going to get. Like at the epilogue that we get at the end, we get a nightmare scene. Again, very stupid scene because it doesn't make sense as to why it happens, but it happens. It's just like the nightmare scene in Batman v Superman, right? That's the scene that happens. Again, Bruce has another dream. It's just things are happening. But I have to ask a question to Zack. Why is Bruce? I get that you want Bruce to bring the league together, but why is Bruce and not Cyborg getting these visions? Cyborg has plugged into all three mother boxes. Cyborg, in a sense, is a mother box. Why isn't he the one getting these visions? And why isn't he the one saying, you know what? If you wanted to make Cyborg the heart, let's talk about Cyborg for a minute, because Ray Fisher stirred up the whole pot, up to the release of this movie, saying, excuse me. Ray Fisher stirs up the whole pot prior to the release of this movie, with his displeasure of how things happen with this, the theatrical cut of this movie. You can hear him say, but then you watch this movie and there's a lot of things that happen with Cyborg that I don't necessarily care for. Yeah, we get to see how he became Cyborg fully, but we know that already because we saw that in BVS. I guess we get to see his accident. We get to see his father die, which didn't make sense because you would be in essence saying, because Silas Stone is a very integral part of Victor Stone's life through Victor Stone being human and into him being Cyborg. Him being alive is very, very important into Cyborg's life. But I guess he dies because it helps move the plot. If he didn't die, the plot won't move, I think. So that happens. If you wanted to make Cyborg the heart of this movie, him bringing the league together would have made sense. Him getting over his struggle his self would have, and coming and saying, hey, look, I'm having these visions and I think you're involved. We need to come together. We need to make something happen. That would have made more sense than giving Bruce these visions and letting him do these things. And again, I mean, yes, you give Bruce Flash coming back saying, hey, boom, she's the key. That should be the end of it. If Cyborg is in this nightmare scene, as you can see, he should be having the visions. Cyborg has a lot of visions in this movie that nobody talks about. When he plugs into the Kryptonian ship, he sees what's going to happen in the future. He doesn't talk about it past that. Like he sees the future and he does not talk about it. Explain that to me. You see everybody die. Like literally, he sees everybody die. He sees the Amazon. He sees Wonder Woman die. He sees Batman die. He sees Darkseid console Superman, and Superman becoming Darkseid's champion. And he just doesn't. When Superman comes back and they have that fight in Metropolis, you would think, okay, wait, whoa, guys, I saw a vision. Maybe, like when we go back to your ship, this is exactly why this nothing, and just keep it moving. That's important to talk about. You think? A lot of the action just happens to happen to move the plot along. But I will say this though. I will say this in all fairness. Oh, his CGI is trash. But I will say this in all fairness. Like, it's a cool movie. Doesn't move the needle either way for me in terms of DC Universe, but it's a cool movie. If you care about cape movies and you don't care about story and plot and all that nonsense, sure, watch it. You might enjoy it. If you do care about all that stuff and you care about what you saw in the 2017 movie, shoot. You know what? Put your thoughts down in the comment section below. I feel like I spent too much time talking about this movie already, and I don't want to keep talking about it. All in all, I give Zack Snyder's Justice League a C- for slightly improving on something that had already been done and not really adding anything new to the entire movie universe, not adding anything super new to the movie itself. I mean, you know what? You're right. You're right. Much more enjoyable when fans who knew nothing about it are coming at it at the first. Like I said, if you care about Cape stuff, if you care about Cape movies, Cape, and this is your first time. Oh, if you didn't see 2017 and you're seeing this, if you didn't see Justice League in 2017, watch this movie. There we go. Watch this movie. Thank you, Big Gold Belts. I really appreciate that comment. If you didn't see Justice League in 2017, this is the movie you want to watch. It's going to help you out. I would say don't watch 2017. If you do want to watch 2017, you can watch it because it helps with the continuity. Yeah. I want to be really nice to this movie, and I feel like it deserves. It's a cool movie. It's super hard to rate because it's not. Again, it's a movie we've seen, but then there's extra content, so it's cool. It's a cool movie. It's not the fried egg, or it's not sliced bread. It's not the first time we're seeing sliced bread. It's not the first time we're crying. This is a movie we've seen before with slight improvements. As a miniseries, you can rate it as that because the chapters will help divide the movie so you can, get more, that way you don't have to watch it the whole entire 4 hours and like just overload yourself. Watch it in the chapters, and it helps you understand a lot more of what's going on, I think. Again, a C- if I was to rate it as a movie, as a miniseries, a C, because again, we sat and we watched WandaVision, which was kind of like a movie but a miniseries. It's the same exact. It falls in that same exact vein. To me, this doesn't go into the vein of, say, an Avengers: Age of Ultron. An Avengers: Infinity War, Endgame. This doesn't even reach that stratosphere. Like, I want to say something, but I'm gonna catch so much heat for it. At this point, DC could never thank you very much for watching this review and reaction of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Please leave a comment down in the comment section below. Let me know if you hated it. Let me know if you loved it. Let me know how you felt about it. Let me know if you hate me for saying DC could never. Ultimately, this is my opinion. It shouldn't affect how you feel about this movie. It shouldn't affect how you feel about this movie. I watched it in chapters, Ray. I watched it in chapters, okay? It shouldn't, ultimately, my opinion shouldn't affect how you feel about this movie. If you're going to love it, love it. Again, but I feel like the discourse, no, they can never make an Avengers Infinity War. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I feel like the discourse around this movie shouldn't be what it is. Like, you shouldn't hate people that love it. If they love it, let them love the movie. This is the movie they've wanted. This is the movie they've waited for. Let them love it. You know, if you don't love it, then and you've seen it, just keep it moving. You know, let the people that want to love this movie love it. Don't have any other discourse around this movie. However you feel about it is however you feel about it. Ultimately, it was an okay movie. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I will catch you on the next movie review, which is Godzilla versus Kong, because that's really what I want to see come on HBO Max. Let's get that screener. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.